Oh my goodness, I didn't have this many fans in the audience. Hi everyone, my name's Naveed Moeed, and I'll be reading Sonnet 26, reading this twice. First in Elizabethan English, and secondly in Urdu. So, Sonnet 26. Lord of my love, to whom in vassalage thy merit hath my duty strongly knit, to thee I send this written embassage, to witness duty, not to show my wit. Duty so great, wit so poor as mine, may make seem bare in wanting words to show it, but that I hope some good conceit of thine in thy soul's thought all naked will bestow it. Till whatsoever star that guides my moving points me graciously with fair aspect, and puts apparel on my tattered loving, to show me worthy of thy sweet respect. Then may I dare to boast how I do love thee. Till then, not show my head where thou mayst prove me. Okay. Sonnet 26 in Urdu. आका-ए मोहब्बत मेरी जिनकी गुलामी में आपकी खूबी ने मेरी वफादारी कस के बांध दी है। खिदमत में ये पैगाम भेजता हूँ अपने मज़ाहिर ना दिखाने के लिए, बल्कि अपनी वफादारी ज़ाहिर करने के लिए। ऐसी बड़ी खिदमत जिसे मेरी कमज़ोर अक़ल अल्फाज की कमी में शायद सादा ज़ाहिर करे, मगर उम्मीद है कि आपकी अच्छी सोच, आपकी रूह की गहराई में इसे कबूल करेगी। जब तक वो सितारा जो मेरी रहनुमाई करता है मुझ पर मेहरबानी से रोशन ना हो और मेरी पोसीदा मोहब्बत को लिबास ना दे, ताकि मैं आपकी मीठी इज्जत के काबिल नजर आऊं, तब मैं जुर्रत कर सकूं कि अपनी मोहब्बत का इजहार करूंगा। उस वक्त तक अपने आप को आपकी सामने साबित करने की हिम्मत नहीं करूंगा।
How y'all doing today? It's good. My name is Shafar. I also like to thank Kurt for allowing me to read. I have Sonnet 27. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed. The deer repose for limbs with travel tired, but then begins a journey in my head, to work my mind when body's works expire. For then my thoughts from far where I abide intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see. Save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which like a jewel hung in ghastly night makes black night beauties and her old face new. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself, no quiet find.
Hi, I'm Callie, Hammond. I'm doing Sonnet 28. Apparently Shakespeare was having a bad day. And I'm also doing it in 2 languages, but just to keep things short, I'm doing them at the same time, because I'm also doing American Sign Language. can I then return in happy plight, that am debarred the benefit of rest, when day's oppression is not eased by night, but day by night and night by day oppressed, and each, though enemies to either's reign, do in consent shake hands to torture me, the one by toil, the other to complain how far I toil, still further off from thee. I tell the day to please him, thou art bright, and dost him grace when clouds do blot the heavens. So flatter I the swart-complexioned night, when sparkling stars twire not, thou gilt'st the even. But day doth daily draw my sorrows longer, and night doth nightly make grief's length seem stronger.
Hi, forgive the wardrobe. I didn't know I was reading. I thought I might go swimming today. My name is Ethan. I'll be reading Sonnet 29. I have never read this before. So be nice. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like one more rich in hope, featured like him, with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state. Like to the lark at break of day rising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate, for thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Hi there, my name is Arin Dickson. I'm the founder of the newly formed theater company that's based in Durham called Scapegoat Initiative. I will be reading sonnet number 30. It was provided to me just out of chance, but after reading it, I realized that it actually reminds me a lot of a dear friend. So I would like to dedicate this to Mr. Douglas Latley. When to the sessions of sweet, silent thought, I summon up remembrance of things past, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes new wail my dear time's waste. Then can I drown an eye unused to flow for precious friends hid in death's dateless night, and weep afresh love's songs long since cancelled woe, and moan the expense of many a vanished sight. Then can I grieve at grievances foregone, and heavily from woe to woe tell o'er the sad account of forebemoaned moan, which I knew pay as if not paid before. But if, while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored and sorrows end.
I apologize. This act comes in threes, ladies and gentlemen. In threes indeed. Not five like the Shakespeare before me. But for those of you who were not here 30 minutes ago, I have some interesting news, some new findings from those in South Africa. There were some scientists who had discovered that the 400-year-old tobacco pipes excavated from the garden of William Shakespeare contained cannabis, suggesting that the playwright might have written some of his famous works while high. And this is a parody on Sonnet number 30. I do hope you enjoy. I don't think it'll be as dramatic as the first. The joke is stale by now. When to the sessions of sweet silent bong, I summon up remembrance of dubs past. Methinks I trounce his worship Tommy Chong. For my weed game shall not soon be outclassed. Now, here's a word I've never heard, and I will do my best to pronounce it. Tetrahydrocannabinol. Very good. Probably spelled wrong. Thy glow. The thy vapors curl from Delphi's oracle, that even the sun god himself says, whoa, man. And I'm not being allegorical. Call thou the strain 12th night, or what you will. This will knows the primo chi from the junk, Afgui train wreck, or perchance Space Jill, Purple Urkel, Voodoo, nay, Pineapple Skunk. The joint's burning low, so let me be frank. All the world's a stage, and the stages be dank. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Lydia Spangler. I'm going to be reading Sonnet 31. And this is about the poet, his many friends that have, I guess, passed away or no longer with him, and how he now sees them in his beloved. Kind of hard to follow your last one. Okay, sorry. Thy bosom is endeared with all hearts, which I by lacking have supposed dead, and there reigns love and all love's loving parts, and all those friends which I thought buried. How many a holy and obsequious tear hath dear religious love stolen from my eye, as interest of the dead, which now appear, but things removed that hidden in thee lie. Thou art the grave where buried love doth live, hung with the trophies of my lovers gone, who all their parts of me to thee did give. That due of many now is thine alone. Their images I loved, I view in thee, and thou, all they, hast all the all of me.
Hello, my name is Bobby Kaufman, and I will also be in Kids Right. This is Sonnet 32, and it will be read by someone a lot older than me. If thou survive my well-contented day, when that churled death my bones with dust shall cover, and shalt by fortune once more re-survey these poor rude lines of thy deceased lover, compare them with the bettering of the time, and though they be outstripped by every pen, reserve for them my love, for my love, not for their rhyme, exceeded by the height of happier men. Oh, then vouchsafe me but this loving thought, had my friend's muse grown with this growing age, a dearer birth than this his love hath brought, to march in ranks of better equipage. But since he died, and poets better prove theirs for their style, I'll read his for his love.
I'm Dylan Bailey. Sonnet number 33. I like this sonnet. It kind of fell in my lap. Kurt asked me to read it a couple days ago. And to me, it's about the sun. It's also about sometimes how fleeting love can be, I think. From a sun standpoint, I am so grateful that we're getting more sunshine now in springtime. It gives me energy. And so that's the connection I'm drawing right now to this. I'm grateful for the sunshine. Here we go. Full many a glorious morning have I seen flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Anon permit the basest clouds to ride with ugly wrack on his celestial face, and from the forlorn world his visage hide, stealing unseen to west with this disgrace. Even so, my sun one early morn did shine, with all triumphant splendor on my brow. But out, alack, he was but 1 hour mine. The region cloud hath masked him from me now. Yet him for this my love no whit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sun staineth. Sonnet 34.
My name is William Simkiss. I don't have many shameless plugs. I'll be reading Sonnet 34. Here is Sonnet 34 in both English and then in French. A woman here, I think she's gone, read a sonnet in English and in French. That's by the same translator who did all 104 sonnets in French, and they're wonderful. So. Why didst thou promise such a beauteous day, and make me travel forth without my cloak, to let base clouds overtake me in my way, hiding thy bravery in their rotten smoke? 'Tis not enough that though the cloud thou break, to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face, for no man well of such a salve can speak, that heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. Nor can thy shame give physic to my grief, though thou repent, and I still have the loss. The offender's sorrow lends but weak relief to him that bears the strong offense's cross. Ah, but those tears are pearl which thy love sheds, and they are rich and ransom all ill deeds. Good, thank you. Go ahead. At the end of a song, when you perform music live, you're always supposed to do the da on the end, because that makes people clap, and that's it. Pourquoi m'as-tu promis qu'il le ferait bourgeois, alors que sans manteau je partais en voyage, risquant d'être surpris par des méchants nuages, d'exposer tout ton charme et pointeurs infects? Traverser le brouillard n'est pas ce qu'il faudrait pour assécher mon joue-botte par les farfelles. On ne peut que louer le baume qui soulage sans pouvoir effacer le mal d'une disgrace. Ni que tu me donnes l'air, ta honte de me délivre, malgré ton répétir, je suis de ton en manque. Le regret du fautif et son faible secours à qui porte la croix d'une seule heure de défense. Mais verser pour amour les perles de tes larmes sont un prix de qui suffit à arracher les tontes. He's not happy. An addendum here that we're going to do. I was listening about 2.5 years ago to an audio book of a great course on how to read and understand Shakespeare by Professor Mark C. Connor, and he said that there's another sonnet, that there's a sneaky hidden one right in the middle of Romeo and Juliet. And they spontaneously, when they first meet, Romeo and Juliet spontaneously create a perfect sonnet. The beginning of that goes, Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So does a showy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of staying, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. And this is Miss Rachel Nunn. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Well, then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by thine, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips, O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Thanks, William, for inviting me to do that. That was super fun. And thank you, Kurt, for inviting me back. My name is Rachel Pottern Nunn. I think that I've done this event every year but one, and I love it so much. Thank you, Kurt, for organizing. This is Sonnet 35. No more be grieved at that which thou hast done. Roses have thorns, and silver fountains mud. Clouds and eclipses stain both moon and sun, and loathsome canker lives in sweetest bud. All men make faults, and even I, in this, authorizing thy trespass with compare, myself corrupting, salving thy amiss, excusing thy sins more than thy sins are. For to thy sensual fault I bring incense. Thy adverse party is thy advocate, and 'gainst myself all lawful plea commence. Such civil war is in my love and hate, that I an accessory needs must be to that sweet thief which sourly robs from me.
Hi. Sorry. My name is Joanna Herath, and I'm reading Sonnet 36. Let me confess that we two must be twain, although our undivided loves are one. So shall those blots that do with me remain, without thy help, by me be borne alone. In our two loves there is but one respect, though in our lives a separate spite, which, though it alter not love's sole effect, yet doth it steal sweet hours from love's delight. I may not evermore acknowledge thee, lest my bewailed guilt should do thee shame, nor thou with public kindness honor me, unless thou take that honor from thy name. But do not so. I love thee in such sort as thou being mine, mine is thy good report.
Hello, my name is Tim Rand, and I'm going to be reading Sonnet 37. As a decrepit father takes delight to see his active child do deeds of youth. So I, made lame by fortune's dearest spite, take all my comfort of thy worth and truth. For whether beauty, birth, or wealth or wit, or any of these all, or more, entitled in thy parts do crowned sit, I make my love engrafted to this store. So then I am not lame, poor, nor despised, whilst that this shadow doth such substance give, that I and thy abundance am sufficed, and by a part of all thy glory live. Look what is best, that best I wish in thee, this wish I have, then 10 times happy me.
My name is Christopher Bynum. I only have 2 shout-outs today. I have a shout-out to my brother grave digger Kurt for having me back here again. And my other shout-out is to my son Colin, who's just the best. I'm reading Sonnet 38. How can my muse want subject to invent, while thou dost breathe that pour'st into my verse, thine own sweet argument, too excellent for every vulgar paper to rehearse? O give thyself the thanks it ought in me, worthy perusal stand against thy sight, for who's so dumb that cannot write to thee, when thou thyself dost give invention light? Be thou the 10th muse, 10 times more in worth than those old 9 which rhymers invocate. And he that calls on thee, let him bring forth eternal numbers to outlive long date. If my slight muse do please these curious days, the pain be mine, but thine shall be the praise. Thank you.
Just turn this down because everyone appears like way taller than me. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aadya Kamla Sharma, and I'm in 7th grade. I'm a singer, songwriter, dancer, writer, and aspiring chemist, petrologist, and psychologist. Not a therapist, though, more of a neuroscientist, I suppose. You all already know what I'm doing on the stage. It's the same thing as everybody else. I'm reciting a sonnet. But before you start taking some Z's, hear me out. My sonnet is different. Gasp. No, Shakespeare didn't write it in 21st century speech. No, it's not about Doritos. Oh, there you go, dozing off again. All right, I'll just read my sonnet and you'll see how it's different. Oh, how thy worth with manners may I sing, when thou art all the better part of me. What can mine own praise to mine own self bring? And what is but mine own when I praise thee, even for this? Let us divided live, and our dear love lose name of single one, that by this separation I may give that you to thee which thou deservest alone. O absence, what a torment wouldst thou prove, were it not thy sour leisure gave sweet leave to entertain the time with thoughts of love, which time and thought so sweetly doth deceive, and that thou teachest how to make one twain, by praising him here who doth hence remain. Thank you. And now, I bring you an ad. Do you have nothing to do on May 3rd? love choir performances? Yes, of course I do! Well, then head to King's Dominion on May 3rd for a wonderful choir performance. If you want more information, go talk to my parents. Oh, wow, I'm booking tickets right away! And now, after the ad break, before I exit, here are some things I want to share. You've likely heard the "all the world's a stage" quote by Shakespeare, of course. But I presume you haven't heard the quote, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." Also a quote by Shakespeare, reminding us that we choose our own fate. And a fun fact, Shakespeare actually invented over 1,700 words we use today. All right, that's all from me. Thank you for listening to me speak Old English.
Yeah, so that was my daughter. Hard act to follow. My name is Aditya Sharma. I'm a university college professor of computer information systems. Nothing much directly to do with Shakespeare or any of that stuff. I actually teach programming and all that, so the running joke has been that I'll do it in Python or some other binary language. So like, the initialization, name equals Shakespeare, for loop starts, whatever. Coming back to, my daughter just said world is a stage. I think it's more like an improv. It's an improv with whoever you believe the source is. Because I'm in technology, I was always still fascinated by literature, writing, so I would read. And as I'm watching it over the past few years, I see that the boundaries between technology, science, and art is kind of blurring. And more so if you get into the AI world, right? Today we talk about artificial intelligence. What does it mean? Why are we here? Why do people come to watch a show, listen to sonnets? It's probably something about the experience, right? Experience of living through this experience is what makes this unique. And I had this conversation with the music department chair at the university I'm at. Would you be willing to listen to music being produced by a machine? And maybe you will listen to it when you don't know it's a machine, but would you listen to it if it is a machine standing here instead of me and singing? There's something about the connection, right? That makes us relate to that song and singing, right? So this sonnet that I have here, it talks about one of those feelings. We got into the word right here, which is called feelings, which is love, right? What does it mean to love or be in love or love something or someone? And will a machine have empathy or love when they are doing that? That's something out there still for discussion, because every day I hear this in the news. AI is going to be conscious, AI is going to do this, but what does it mean to do that? So one of the things about this specific sonnet that I'm reading, it talks about love, as many of them do, and the power of love. And actually the same power that is known for healing, which is love, can also cause hurt. Because guess what? Those whom you love are also the ones that can hurt you the most. Right? So that is an interesting point that is that comes out of this sonnet, okay? So let me get into it. Take all my loves, my love, yea, take them all. What hast thou then more than thou hadst before? No love, my love, that thou mayst true love call. All mine was thine before thou hadst this more. Then if for my love thou my love receivest, I cannot blame thee, for my love thou usest, but yet be blamed if thou thyself deceivest, by willful taste of what thyself refusest. I do forgive thy robbery, gentle thief, although thou steal thee all my poverty, and yet love knows it is a greater grief to bear love's wrong than hate's known injury. Lascivious grace, in whom all ill well shows, kill me with spites, yet we must not be foes.
that's the last member of Sharma family. We got a full house here. And since you will all be wondering, why am I wearing this Indian sari? For Bard's Love, I'm going to be translating my sonnet in Hindi as well with some Natya Shastra mudras. Now, what is Natya Shastra? Natya Shastra is the act of play with hands. Not taking more ado about nothing, which was everything. I'll dwell into my sonnet. And my first love from sonnets came from my dad, who taught me the diction and pronunciation of sonnet words, but you might still hear a lot of Indian accent when I read this. Those pretty wrongs that liberty commits, when I am sometime absent from thy heart, thy beauty and thy ears full well befits, for still temptation follows where thou art. Gentle thou art, and therefore to be won. Beauteous thou art, therefore to be assailed. And when a woman woos, what woman's son will sourly leave till he have her prevailed? Ay me, but yet thou mightst my seat forbear, and chide thy beauty and thy straying youth, who lead thee in their riot even there, where thou art forced to break a twofold truth. Hers by thy beauty, tempting her to thee, thine by thy beauty, being false to me. And as I promised, my Hindi translation with some Natya mudras, and all thanks to my heavenly parents up above blessing me. My dad taught me the diction on Shakespeare, and my mom taught me how to translate in Hindi, and I hope I do justice to their teachings. वो सुंदर गलतियां जो स्वतंत्रता से उत्पन्न होती हैं, जब मैं कुछ समय के लिए आपके दिल से अनुपस्थित हूँ, तेरा सौंदर्य और तेरी साल पूरी तरह से बताते हैं, अभी भी प्रलोभन नहीं है जहाँ तू है। कोमल तू है, इसलिए तो जीतना है तुझे। सुंदर तू है, तो क्या मार डाला जाए तुझे? और जब एक औरत पहल करे, तो किस महिला का बेटा उसको छोड़ देगा? काश तुम मुझे चुनती, काश तुम मुझे चुनती, लेकिन फिर भी तुम मेरी जगह ले सकते हो। और तेरा सौंदर्य और तेरा भटकता हुआ यौवन जो तुम्हें वहां बहलाव में ले जाते हैं, फिर दोहरा सत्य सामने आता है, तेरा सौंदर्य उसे और अपनी ओर लुभाता है। तेरा सौंदर्य ही मेरे लिए एक विश्वासघात बन जाता है।
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Beverly. I'm not really an actor, I just play one. And if my Roman numerals are correct, I believe this is number 42. That thou hast her, it is not all my grief, and yet it may be said I loved her dearly. That she hath thee is of my wailing chief, a loss in love that touches me more nearly. Loving offenders, thus I will excuse ye. Thou dost love her, because thou knowest I love her. And for my sake even so doth she abuse me, suffering my friend for my sake to approve her. If I lose thee, my loss is my love's gain, and losing her, my friend hath found that loss. Both find each other, and I lose both twain, and both, for my sake, lay on me this cross. But here's the joy, my friend and I are one. Sweet flattery, then she loves but me alone.
My name is Sharon Spangler, and I'm reading Sonnet 43. When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see. For all the day they view things unrespected. But when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee, and darkly bright are bright and dark directed. Then thou, whose shadow shadows doth make bright, how would thy shadows form happy show to the clear day with thy much clearer light, when to unseeing eyes thy shade shines so? How would, I say, mine eyes be blessed made by looking on thee in the living day, when in dead night thy fair imperfect shade through heavy sleep on sightless eyes doth stay. All days are nights to see until I see thee, and nights bright days when dreams do show thee me.
Hello, my name is Megan Christian. I am not a Shakespeare scholar, so someone may have a different interpretation of the sonnet who is far more educated than me. But my brief synopsis is that this is for the long-distance lovers and the thoughts of thought when your person is so far away and thoughts are the only ways that you have to be together. So I have some musical accompaniment through technology, which hopefully will work all right. And this is Sonnet 44. If the dull substance of my flesh were thought, injurious distance would not stop my way. For then, despite of space, I would be brought from limits far remote where thou dost stay. No matter then, although my foot did not stand upon the farthest earth removed from thee, for nimble thought can jump both sea and land as soon as think the place he would be. But thought kills me that I am not thought, to leap large lengths of miles when thou art gone, but that so much of earth and water wrought, I must attend time's leisure with my moan, receiving naught by elements so slow, but heavy tears and badges of either's woe.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Jenkins, and I don't have a plug. It's been a minute since I've done a play, but it's wonderful to be here with you all doing this little bit of Shakespeare art. And my sonnet goes with the one just before about parted lovers. The two elements in this sonnet are air and fire, meaning words and desire. Sonnet 45. The other two, slight air and purging fire, are both with thee wherever I abide. The first my thought, the other my desire. These present absent with swift motion slide, for those quicker elements are gone in tender embassy of love to thee. My life, being made of four with two alone, sinks down to death, oppressed with melancholy. Until life's composition be recurred by those swift messengers returned from thee, who even but now come back again, assured of thy fair health, recounting it to me. This told I joy, but then, no longer glad, I send them back again, and straight grow sad.
Hi, I'm Callie Wall, and I'll be reading Shakespeare's sonnet number 46. This sonnet is about the war we wage with what we see with our eyes and what we feel with our hearts. Mine eye and heart are at a mortal war, how to divide the conquest of thy sight. Mine eye, my heart, thy picture's sight would bar. My heart, mine eye, the freedom of that right. My heart doth plead that thou in him dost lie, a closet never pierced with crystal eyes. But the defendant doth that plea deny, and says in him thy fair appearance lies. To side this title is impaneled, a quest of thoughts, all tenants to the heart. And by their verdict is determined the clear eyes' moiety and the dear heart's heart. As thus mine eyes do is thine outward part, and my heart's right, thy inward love of heart.
Hi, my name is Wayne Leonard. I am the host of Lights Up on WHUP. Thank you, appreciate that very much. We are live every Wednesday from 5 to 6 talking about the shows that you guys are creating and being in. I appreciate you guys calling in so we can have a show and something to talk about. I am doing Sonnet 47. Betwixt mine eye and heart a league is took, and each doth good turns now unto the other. When that mine eye is famished for a look, or heart in love with sighs himself doth smother, with my love's picture then my eye doth feast, and to the painted banquet bids my heart. Another time mine eye is my heart's guest, and in his thoughts of love doth share a part. So either by thy picture or my love, thyself away art present still with me. For thou not farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or if they sleep, thy picture in my sight awakes my heart to hearts and eyes' delight.
Hello again. You might know me as the stoner upon Avon. But no. The intermission for Act 3 will be 23 hours. You'll find me doing the last one on the online tomorrow, so you're going to have to wait for more funnies. This one is actually serious. This is sonnet number 48. Before I begin, I would just like to introduce the idea of our modern world. The way that especially in artistic communities such as this, that oftentimes we can get lost in material possessions and consumerism, especially in the way the economy is going right now. So, I'd like to look upon this room and see friends old and new, friends I have not met yet. And I'd like to introduce a quote that you should have in your mind when I read this. It is better to have loved and lost than to have ever loved at all. How careful was I when I took my way, each trifle under truest bars to thrust, that to my use it might unused stay, from hands of falsehood ensure words of trust. But thou to whom my jewels trifles are, most worthy comfort now my greatest grief. Thou best of dearest and mine only care, art left the prey of every vulgar thief. Thee have I not locked up in any chest, save where thou art not, thou I feel thou art, within the gentle closure of my breast, from whence at pleasure thou mayst come and part. And even thence thou wilt be stolen, I fear, for truth proves thievish for a prize so dear. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Cecilia Lindgren, and thankfully I do know what I'm about to say because there are words in front of me, so it helps. I'm a new arrival in North Carolina, been here for a little less than a year, but I have been obsessed with Shakespeare since I was born. My mother is a Shakespearean actress, and I grew up going to the Shakespeare Festival in my hometown. I ended up doing their middle school program, high school program, college program, and then was hired as a professional actor in their shows. So then I moved here and then found out about this. So thank you so much, Kurt, for inviting me to do this. I'm so honored to be here among all of you and to hear you guys say these sonnets. It's really beautiful and wonderful to find this community. So I'm going to be doing Sonnet 49. And as we have heard with a lot of these sonnets, they're a lot about love and all the wonderfulness that comes with that, and marriage and children. This one is a little bit on the heavier side, as with most of these in this grouping. It's a lot about self-doubt in relationships, and the love that you can have for somebody while wondering, why the heck do you love me? And why are you with me? And loving them so much that even if they ever leave you, you'll still back them because you love them so strongly. Okay, so Sonnet 49. Against that time, if ever that time come, when I shall see thee frown on my defects, when as thy love hath cast his utmost sum, called to that audit by advised respects, against that time, when thou shalt strangely pass and scarcely greet me with that sun, thine eye, when love, converted from the thing it was, shall reasons find of settled gravity. Against that time do I ensconce me here, within the knowledge of mine own desert, and this my hand against myself uprear, to guard the lawful reasons on thy part. To leave poor me, thou hast the strength of laws, since why to love, I can allege no cause. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm Liz Howard. These are my nieces.
Katie.
There you go. So we selected sonnet number 50. It's basically sort of the story of somebody who has left their dearest one behind and had to go on a journey and sort of wrestling with, the leaving of the person that you want to be with the most and venturing someplace without them. So sonnet 50. How heavy do I journey on the way, when what I seek, my weary travels end, doth teach that ease and that repose to say.
Thus far the miles are measured from thy friend.
The beast that bears me, tired with my woe, plods dully on to bear that weight in me, as if by some instinct the wretch did know his rider loved not speed, being made from thee. The bloody spur cannot provoke him on, that sometimes anger thrusts into his hide, which heavily he answers with a groan, more sharp to me than spurring to his side.
For that same groan doth put this in my mind: my grief lies onward, and my joy behind.
I need to apologize once again for making everything happen kind of late. And I have an emergency situation here where I've got to have one sonnet read out of order. Okay? And so.
Oh, so I'm still doing 74
early.
Sorry.
We're not going to make everybody listen to the in four-part harmony to the 6-page reason for why we have to do this. But anyway.
I have a little one at home I have to get back to. We know how it goes, right? My name is Andrea Rice. This is my second year here. Really happy to be back. I am a public health journalist. I have been very busy as of late. I'm also an occasional yoga and meditation teacher. 74, I chose 74 because as a writer navigating midlife, I have been contemplating my own mortality. And what I really appreciated about this verse is that the poet is putting their beloved at ease by saying, this is how my spirit will live on through these words. And since I have been contemplating my own mortality, I've thought about that very thing, right? How my spirit can live on after I'm gone. And maybe it's in the words that I write, maybe it's in the way that I've touched people. So it's helped given me a little bit more acceptance about the inevitable that is to come for all of us. 74. But be contented when that fell arrest, without all bail shall carry me away. My life hath in this line some interest, which for memorial with thee shall stay. When thou reviewest this, thou dost review. The very part was consecrate to thee. The earth can have but earth, which is his due. My spirit is thine, the better part of me. So then thou hast but lost the dregs of life, the prey of worms, my body being dead, the coward conquest of a wretch's knife, too base of thee to be remembered. The worth of that is that which it contains. And that is this, and with thee, this with thee remains. Thank you.